Let's talk about the best meal you can eat to help decrease plaque buildup in your arteries or even prevent cardiovascular problems. I've done many videos on what to avoid if you want to lower your risk of heart disease, but today I'm going to focus mainly on what you should eat. Before we get into that, what actually causes plaque in the arteries? To understand this, we need a quick background on what's happening inside your body when it comes to cardiovascular issues, especially plaque formation. Plaque is made up of a mix of calcium, protein, and cholesterol. Many times, the calcium appears because of something called biofilms. A biofilm is a cluster of microbes that create small calcium shells or igloos to shield themselves, allowing them to hide from your immune system. So when you see calcium-based plaque in the arteries, there may be a microbial community underneath it. Biofilms tend to stick to roughened surfaces. If the inside of your arteries stayed smooth and strong, plaque would rarely accumulate. But what makes them rough? Typically, it's some kind of lesion, oxidation, irritation, or inflammation, often from consuming too much sugar, having diabetes or prediabetes, high amounts of omega-6 fatty acids, processed junk foods, or alcohol. When you have plaque buildup, you usually also see elevated LDL cholesterol, specifically the small, dense type of LDL particles. These are strongly connected to high sugar and high carb diets. Cholesterol never floats freely in the bloodstream. It's always carried by LDL, which acts like a shuttle. In this situation, cholesterol works like a patch or a bandage mixed with calcium and a fibrous protein tissue that acts like cement. Over time, this mixture hardens, and eventually, a blood clot or thrombus can form in that same area. So what can we do to prevent, slow down, or even reverse this process? There are several key nutrients to consider. One major player in regulating calcium is vitamin K2. This vitamin helps direct calcium into the bones instead of letting it settle in soft tissues like arteries or joints. Without enough K2, calcium tends to accumulate in places it shouldn't. There's also something interesting about biofilms when it comes to plaque in the arteries. Research has shown a link between periodontal bacteria, the harmful bacteria in your mouth, and plaque buildup in your arteries. That means the microbes living in your gums can actually end up in your heart. Your mouth hosts over 700 different microbial species. Bacteria can enter the bloodstream through small gaps in your gums, especially if you have bleeding gums. A similar process happens in the intestines, where bacteria can cross through the gut wall, a process called bacterial translocation. This is why foods rich in vitamin C are important for this heart-healthy meal. Vitamin C supports the health of your gums and helps maintain the integrity of your blood vessels. Vitamin E is another critical nutrient. It's a powerful antioxidant that prevents oxidative damage and inflammation in the arterial lining. A deficiency in vitamin E makes the endothelium, the inner layer of the arteries, much more vulnerable to damage. It's also essential for heart muscle function and helps reduce the risk of a heart attack. So, the main nutrients we want here are vitamin K2, vitamin C, vitamin E, and omega-3 fatty acids. To avoid artery damage, it's also important to keep omega-6 fats low and omega-3 fats high. That brings us to the question, what should this ideal meal look like? First, we need omega-3 fatty acids. A great source is wild-caught salmon. Including salmon in your meal gives you a rich supply of omega-3s, which support healthy arteries and heart muscle. They also reduce inflammation in the arterial walls, which can help lower blood pressure. Next, there's a food that I consider extremely important for both preventing and potentially reversing arterial plaque. It contains about 7 times the daily recommended amount of vitamin C and is one of the most probiotic-rich foods you can eat, loaded with beneficial lactic acid bacteria. This food is sauerkraut, a fermented cabbage product. Lactic acid bacteria, which thrive in fermented foods, are fascinating because they act like natural ACE inhibitors to lower blood pressure. They disrupt biofilms, reduce cardiovascular risk by improving gut health, and help regulate LDL cholesterol, especially the small, dense type. They also enhance bile production, which helps you absorb fat-soluble vitamins like E, D, and K2. Sauerkraut is also naturally high in vitamin K2, which, as we mentioned, prevents calcium from building up in the arteries. To sum it up, sauerkraut is a heart superfood. It protects your gut lining, reducing the chance of bacteria traveling through the bloodstream to your heart. It contains many diverse microbes that support health in multiple ways, and it's packed with antioxidants and vitamin C, which helps keep your arteries smooth so biofilms can't stick in the first place. The last part of this meal should be a large arugula salad. Arugula is far superior to regular lettuce because it's a cruciferous vegetable, great for the liver, rich in potassium to help maintain normal blood pressure, and full of compounds like DM, which help fight biofilms. It's also a good source of fiber, feeding beneficial gut bacteria. On that salad, add extra virgin olive oil. It's highly anti-inflammatory and supports cardiovascular health. Include some apple cider vinegar or balsamic vinegar for its blood sugar and cholesterol regulating effects, as well as anti-inflammatory properties. Sprinkle sunflower seeds for vitamin E. You can also add a high-quality aged hard cheese, such as authentic Parmigiano Reggiano from Italy, which is rich in vitamin K2 and probiotics. Avoid processed Parmesan products, as many contain fillers like cellulose, wood pulp, and lack the proper aging process. The authentic Italian version is aged for 1 to 3 years and has strict production standards, unlike mass-produced alternatives. Lastly, add garlic, fresh, powdered, or even fermented. Garlic is a powerhouse for heart health. It helps thin the blood, lower blood pressure, fight microbes, and reduce biofilms. Now you know how to build an incredibly heart-healthy meal. And if this information was useful to you, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.